Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It's your girl Dana Monet here again, here recapping season 15 of American Idol. And I'm actually really excited to talk about it this week. I mean, this is the week before the finale. So everybody's bringing out the big guns. I think it was a pretty good show. I think that it was the best show since Top 10 Night, which that was my favorite show. This is just my personal opinion. But I think that it was a really, really great show. So I have a lot to discuss, so I'm just going to jump right into it. This is actually going to be a two-parter. So we're going to jump in right into Mackenzie. Now, Mackenzie Borg, he was eliminated. They did allow him to sing one song, and that was his hometown dedication song. So that was very nice of Idol to at least let him sing a song, which is something that they didn't let Sonica do. Sonica was the only contestant who got eliminated. When she got eliminated, she didn't get to sing anything. So top 5 is kind of a bad spot to end up in for this season and last season, because didn't Tiana half perform after she saw her bye-bye package, but whatever the case may be. Generally speaking, I really enjoyed actually the hometown visits portion. I don't really recall a lot of it. That's not usually my focus, paying a whole bunch of attention to the hometown visits and stuff. But I really liked it. They spent a lot of time on it. We got to know the contestants a lot better. I mean, even though it's the end of the season, basically, I like the fact that we got to know them better. So I appreciate that. So Mackenzie sang Hallelujah. And, they all sang their first song, and then he was eliminated after that performance. I actually thought that he did a good job with the song. I liked his phrasing. I liked his interpretation. Yes, we've heard this song a million times, but for Mackenzie, that was definitely up there with one of his better performances. I mean, it's a shame. If he would have given that performance last week, then him and Dalton might have flip-flopped. But I think that he sang in tune. I liked his rendition. I think that it was a really, really great song for the moment. And if he was going to go out on that note, let it be Hallelujah. Let it be the way that he sang Hallelujah. He did it his way. He did it the Mackenzie way. He's like, look, if I'm going to be eliminated, I'm going to do this the way I want to do it. And I can definitely appreciate that and respect that. And based off of that, I know I said that I felt like Dalton finished third last week and he deserved the top 3. But the week before that, I said that Mackenzie deserved to be in the top 3. So I was flip-flopping. But overall, based off of overall body of work, I think that Mackenzie should have been in the top 3. Dalton kind of got lucky last week. But everybody's from the South. All of these contestants are from the South, and this is very, historic with Idol, that most of the winners or the top 10 and everything like that are always from the South, and the whole top 4 is from the South, and you got 2 contestants that are from Mississippi. So Mackenzie was from Louisiana, and Dalton was from Texas. So I'm attributing it to the fact that Dalton beat Mackenzie because Texas is a bigger state. So I'm just going to go with that. And what I'm hoping is that, and I'm not so sure that this is going to be the case, I'm hoping that Mackenzie's voters go to Trent instead of Dalton. But for some reason, I feel like Dalton and Mackenzie had the same voters. The people who were voting for Dalton and Mackenzie don't like Trent. I hope that that's wrong. I need those votes to go to Trent. Okay, so Mackenzie is out, but he left on a good note. Let's get into Dalton. Now, I've been hating on Dalton this entire time, and I feel like with good reason. I mean, he's not living up to an American Idol, and I will be extremely disappointed if he ends up being the bookend to Kelly Clarkson, not being able to sing a whole song in tune almost the entire live shows. I've mentioned this week after week after week. And Harry tells everybody every other season about how they're singing out of tune, but he can't seem to tell Dalton. And he had this kind of roundaway, backhanded compliment that he was giving Dalton, which was basically saying, you're singing out of tune. But he couldn't say that you're singing out of tune. Boy, bye. So his first song, Calling You by Blue October, I did like when his grandma was putting highlights in his hair in the hometown visit. I just wanted to say that. I thought that was a pretty good performance from him. He did have his pitch issues, but the style fit him. So usually when the style fits him, the pitch issues lessen. Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen. I think that was his best performance of the night, his best. I like the part in the middle where the tempo changed, the cadence picked up, and it got really rocker, if that makes any sense. So basically, the more rocker the song is, the better off he was. And his worst performance, maybe of the entire season, was the Judge's Choice, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Tears for Fears. It was absolutely horrible. It didn't start out well with, he was giving this crazy eye look. He was like, welcome to, like, it was like creeping me out. And he's like, has these ice blue eyes. It's crazy. So it looked like a scene in a horror movie or something. He was like flat the entire time, completely out of tune. And like I said before, Harry doesn't call him out. He was just as bad as CJ Harris from a couple seasons ago. It sounded like the song choice might work, but not only was it in the wrong key, but he just couldn't find the pitch the entire time, and the band swallowed him up. And he happens to have the nerve to be a vocal coach. I find that really interesting. So Dalton fans, and I know that I've gotten like even some comments about Dalton on here, y'all, we can't have an American Idol winner that can't sing in tune most of the time. Like, that's criteria for a singer. Like, you need to be able to sing in tune. I know he's cute. I know you love his guy liner. You love his blonde hair. You love his blue eyes, but he's just not up to par. Like, no. Dalton cannot win. He's just not good enough. Like, are you serious? He's just not good enough. Moving right along, because yeah, I will be extremely upset if Dalton wins this competition. Let's move on to better things. Trent. I like Trent. So his first song that he sang was Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. It was done by a couple of other people, but Chris Stapleton is the popular one that covered the song now. So you can kind of punch me, as I haven't heard the original version. I haven't heard Chris Stapleton's version. I've heard 2 covers of this song thus far, and that's Trent's and Adam Wakefield from The Voice. And I do prefer Adam Wakefield's voice on this particular song. However, I really enjoyed that a cappella section with just the snaps. That was the best part of the song. Like, I wanted a little bit more of that in the song. That was genius. But he did hit some nice notes in that song. So, but I like that he sang Tennessee Whiskey. Cool beans. And then Scott's pick was Drink You Away by Justin Timberlake. So this is apparently, well, not apparently, this is true, because I've watched many seasons of American Idol. They'll never sing Justin Timberlake. So this is the first time JT has ever been cleared to be sung on American Idol. He doesn't clear his songs for any singing competitions. And Justin Timberlake, Chris Jamison from The Voice Season 7 did sing Justin Timberlake on The Voice. He sang Cry Me a River. But Justin doesn't clear his songs for any show, really. But he cleared this song for Idol. But of all of the Justin Timberlake songs, he chose this one. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that Trent did the best that he could with it. It was still, entertaining. He brought his guitar out, even though he wasn't playing it. It was there. We know he can play the guitar. And I did like the chorus of the song, but although Justin is a country boy, he is from Tennessee, like, Justin is blue-eyed soul. Justin is funky. Like, Justin is like R&B pop. So the majority of his music is that. So why give him the one country song? Like, I would have loved to have seen Trent rock out on like Suit and Tie. I can't wait till I get you on the floor, good looking. That would have been such a better like mood and feel and vibe, especially after last week when he did Sharp Dressed Man, and then this week you do the Suit and Tie. Like, that would have been hot. But we'll take that, especially since his last performance of the night was my favorite, and I almost like it as much as I liked Chandelier last week. So he sang Waiting Game by Parson James, and I don't know this song at all. This was the judge's choice. I think it was more or less Keith's choice. But I I love it when he goes up into his like lilting falsetto. He's like a very delicate singer. Like when he sings these types of songs, I think that they bring out the best moments for him. These types of songs always create a moment because when he goes up into his upper register, it's just so clear and he's right on pitch and it's beautiful the way he does it. And he has you like kind of stopping in your tracks like the entire time. So, he just knows what he's doing and he just knows how to sing. He knows, like Harry said, he knows how to arc a song. You know, I got goosies, I guess, like J-Lo. She was like, goosies. I was like, J-Lo, stop with the goosies mess. I saw a comment on Michael Slezak's blog, tvline.com, where he wanted to see Trent do more soul music at this stage of the competition versus country. And I agree, but I think because he is from the South, and the South is who votes most of the time, and Scott Borchetta is a label that is centered in Nashville, that it was only fitting that he was going to have like basically an all country week. So, but he didn't disappoint. So, and they brought his family out. He didn't know his family was going to be there. He was like, I'm only bringing my family out if I make it to the finals or whatever. And then his reaction was so endearing and he has a cute little doggy and it was really cute. So good job to Trent. And let's get into LaPortia Renee, because this is going to be kind of the bulk of my discussion. So, first of all, I loved her hometown visit as well. I loved how she visited the domestic violence women's shelter. I love that. I loved her baby in the parade waving. The baby is super cute. I said that from the audition. Baby's just getting cuter and cuter. She's a doll face. Okay. So moving right along to the important stuff. Oh, before I get to the really, really important stuff, the stylists did a much, much, much better job with the way LaPortia looked this week. Like, first of all, I loved the diamonds in her hair. I don't care if they weren't really diamonds. I said this the week that she sang diamonds, but I love that. I love the dress. I think I like her in dresses. Like, she looked very elegant and regal, and that's something that Harry said, you have like a regal presence, and she definitely does. Like, they were getting it right. Like, when she was performing Glory, that whole setup in her outfit and just her presence, that was like Grammy winning performance. Like that is what I need to see from LaPortia. Like I love that. And I'm trying to see here. I really enjoyed the Glory performance. I think that song really lends itself to a singer singing it. Even though Common is rapping on it, he like kind of raps to a rhythm and a little bit of a melody in a way. But she had so much feeling and emotion and it was coming from an honest place. And it's such an empowering song, so you can't help but be moved. So apparently Keith had a baptism. So praise Jesus. Moving right along. Okay, this is where the controversy was with Stay With Me, a song by Lorraine Ellison, which I had never heard the song before. It was Scott's choice. And Michael Slezak from tvline.com also had something to say about this, which I completely disagreed with, but I did agree with MJ from MJS Big Blog. Michael Slezak didn't like the fact that she admitted to the fact that she didn't want to sing the song because of the message. It makes zero sense. Okay, look, LaPortia is a victim or was a victim of domestic violence. And the message in the song for her was that she's begging a man to be with her after he did her wrong. And that's just not something that, someone who survived a domestic violence relationship would probably want to sing about. So I get that. And the fact that like Scott was like, fighting so hard with her to get her to sing the song, to me, that like seemed very, that didn't sit well with me. It was like sabotage or whatever. And it's like, you couldn't think of another song that connected with her more, that empowered her more. But I'll tell you this, she was a hell of an actress because I didn't see any of that during the performance. I heard an amazing vocal. I heard her getting into the song. She took it to church at the end. Vocally, I will say this, that was actually my favorite performance of hers of the night vocally. Like, I really, really liked her singing that song. And it definitely sounded country. I haven't heard the original, but had a country flair to it. And I was like, this could be a good look for her. I think she could sing this. And it turned into like a kind of a soul gospel thing that I was really feeling. But I don't like the fact that Harry decided to ask what was the big debate about, because he always does this. He always likes to make situations where these contestants are putting their foot in their mouth. And then when they're honest, then, they get flack for it. And this is not a reason for anybody to be eliminated if they were a victim of domestic violence and don't want to sing a song about a man doing them wrong and you begging them to come back. That is valid. But she acted her ass off and she performed the song and she did what she's supposed to do. Look, as an artist, especially a new artist, you're going to sing songs that you don't necessarily agree with, that you can't relate to, and that you plain just don't like. You just got to be an actor and sing that song like you wrote it. And that's what she did. And that's all that I can ask of LaPortia. So, bump Scott, bump Harry, moving right along to Hello. I just had to sing it like that. But the judge's choice was Hello by Adele. And I actually think that this was a very smart choice. I think that if anybody could sing Adele, it's LaPortia, And I love the beginning of it. She was taking some liberties with the melody and she hit some low notes that were just really like, whoo, like the low notes actually gave me goosies. And now I'm saying goosies and I should probably like punch myself because I'm acting like J-Lo. But I think that performance was good. I just feel like it didn't have that exclamation point that I would have wanted to with the song. And maybe it just ended too quickly, but I don't know. I needed more of a crescendo. And I think J-Lo even hinted at it as well, which is the first time that they've ever given LaPortia any type of semi-critique. But she was like, I wanted you to stretch your range. And again, I've mentioned this before, maybe the competition is just weighing on her voice and everything like that. But I mean, I know that she's capable of singing higher. And, she has an area in her voice, a sweet spot that she kind of stays in, and she does her runs and she plays around in that area. And she doesn't really venture off into higher, stratospheres a lot of the time. And I would like for her to do that. I feel like she needs to do that next week to put the exclamation point on the fact that she should win. And that brings me to my next topic. Now, a lot of people were talking about or comparing Candace to Candace Glover, who won season 12 of American Idol, to LaPortia from this season. And I was on MJS Big Blog and I made a comment that I preferred Candace because of her wider range and her creativity with the songs. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, LaPortia is amazing in her own right. They have two completely different voices. And I actually like the gruff, growly, like full tone that LaPortia has, and I love her presence. She seems a little bit more carefree on stage than Candace did. I think Candace was a little bit more calculated, but also Candace had a longer span of time to grow that trajectory, did a lot more songs, a lot more performances. I mean, this season was cut short of really being able to try different things for, LaPortia. If she was on another season, I mean, it would have been different because we would have gotten, 10, 12 weeks of this as opposed to how many weeks? 4 or 5 weeks. So, I'll say that. But I really wanted to discuss LaPortia potentially winning the show because it's so difficult for a female to win American Idol. And I can't count Candace because that season it was fixed. I'm not saying that she didn't deserve to win. And I feel like if she was on any other season, she would have deserved to win if she performed the way that she did. So don't get it twisted. But that season, I mean, they fixed it so that a girl would win because a girl hadn't won since Jordan Sparks. And ever since then, a female hasn't won. So here she is in the top 4 with 3 other guys, now in the top 3 with 2 guys, white guys with guitars at that, from the South. If there's some magical way that she can manage to pull out a victory with those odds against her, LaPortia is Queen Bee. Because although she's favorited to win, and most people that watch it, like that just maybe casually watch the show, that like, they think that she's the best, or, she's the most talented, she's the most dynamic singer and performer and everything like that. She's like the front runner, but you got to understand the history of American Idol. There's been so many white guys with guitars that have won, and there hasn't been a woman to legitimately win where the deck was stacked, where the deck was stacked fairly since Jordan Sparks. And that was back in season 6. So that was 10 years ago when a female legitimately won without manipulation from production. So if she does manage to win, I just think that I just would love that so much if she would win, because it would mean that by virtue of her amazing talent and her amazing gift, that she was able to surpass all the cute little girls who just like to vote for the cute boys. And I'm not saying, look, if Trent wins, I'm not mad. I already told you how I feel about Dalton. If Dalton wins, I'm pissed. If Trent wins, I'm not mad. But it's just something that, like, if LaPortia makes that finale, no matter who she's up against, I'm only throwing votes at LaPortia. And this week I did throw a couple of votes at Trent, because I'm trying to get, it's like voting against Dalton, me voting for Trent. Of course I voted for LaPortia, but that was the reason for that. But I really, 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 really want to see her win, because I just think that it would be amazing to finally, the final season of American Idol, actually have the best singer in the competition win the show, like on the first season. Wouldn't that be amazing if the best singer actually won the show? And she's not only the best singer, like I said before, she's the most dynamic performer. She's had amazing water cooler moments on the show. And she's made an impact in a short span of time, in a short season. And she's made me excited about kind of this dull season of American Idol. So I really would like for LaPortia to win. The voting window is over. I hope that you all voted correctly, i.e. not for Dalton, but for LaPortia. And you could throw some votes Trent's way. But like I said before, if LaPortia is in that finale, vote for LaPortia. This would be like the best ending to American Idol if LaPortia can win. So it would be amazing. And I know that people say it's better if she doesn't win because Scott doesn't know what to do with her. It's not about that. It's the principle of it. I want to see her win. Period. Point blank. So that was my discussion of the performances. And I'll be back in part 2 to discuss how I feel about the finale and the season as a whole. So be back.